Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving back into 10-star KIZUNA Clash against Jumanji with a one-team versus all led by the new Gear 5 Luffy with a friend captain Reiju, of course, so that way you can get the most amount of ticket gains without utilizing any other characters like the German kids on the team. So with the release of Gear 5, I do believe everyone's sort of been going crazy with summoning for him and like trying to get their hands on this particular unit. This unit is actually really, really cool. It's a very pinnacle moment of the anime and the manga, and a lot of people want this unit. So I decided to put together a one-team versus all. It looks a little bit like this. Once again, we have Donjin Zhao, the usual culprit. He's been on pretty much all of my one-team versus alls. He's literally so good for this stage, stage 2, that he just sort of had to find his way on the team. So we utilize his special on stage 2 pretty much every single fight. But we also use Frankie. Frankie can set defense to 0, and he can give us a 3-turn chain boost. And that's going to work out quite nicely. As you can see, I hang on to the Wano orbs that Frankie gives us as well. That way we can just get a little bit more damage output with Reiju and Luffy on stage 2 as well. But ideally, you'd want to get rid of that Wano orb, so that way you just get an extra orb on Luffy when you activate his EX. Now, on the final stage, for the Dex variation, you get paralyzed and the enemy puts up threshold. You also take 1 turn of special reverse, I believe, as well as block orbs. Luffy just handles the special reverse, which is great. To get around the paralysis, we have the Reiju special. She also gives us a conditional and a color affinity boost with her super type. She also rotates the block orbs too, which is really nice. The super swap of Yamato and Ace is going to give us chain boundary. They also give us an attack boost to our free spirit characters. Unfortunately, this doesn't include Reiju. But look, it's not the end of the world because Reiju just provides so much more with the rest of what she's doing. And the whole idea here is to get Luffy's rush ability to do the most amount of damage at the back end anyway. So with this, we have an attack boost with Luffy Yamato. Yamato Ace. We have orb boost and color affinity with Gear 5, and we're just pretty hunky-dory at this point. Moving on to the next variation now. The next variation is the quick variation, and we have a bit of type advantage for this one, thanks to SANJI and Ace. So that's the team. Those are the supports. Let's dive on in. Now, the notable supports for this team are Rayleigh on our Luffy, Whitebeard on Ace Yamato, as well as Valentine's Nami on SANJI. Now, these supports are all here just to remove Despair. Removing the Despair is crucial because Luffy can't revive unless you do. However, with this one team versus all, you don't really need the revive, but you lose out on your captain abilities, which is obviously a huge problem if you actually don't remove that Despair. On stage 2 against Niji for this particular variation against Quick, we get paralysis orbs and an attack down when we blow a certain chain multiplier. So for this team, we're actually going to swap with Yamato and Ace. We're also going to use the Frankie special. Frankie's going to get around the paralysis, which is super nice. And then we can use the super swap of Ace Yamato. Ace Yamato are going to give themselves a matching orb, which is awesome. And if you guys don't have Donjin Zhao, you can easily replace him with any other unit that just removes Special Bind. He's just such a fantastic unit for this. But any unit that removes Special Bind that gets cooldowns on all stages, preferably a powerhouse unit. Maybe a powerhouse for a spirit unit. I don't know of one off the top of my head that's not Garb. But Garb's obviously not boosted on every single stage. He will be boosted on the one that matters, but yeah, look, there's that. On the final stage for the quick variation, you get Despaired, which you can easily remove. The enemy actually has a revive mechanic here, and for our team, we don't have a captain. Oh, actually, no, we do. We have SANJI. I lied. We have SANJI for a captain swap. The Rush SANJI is so good for this particular variation because he becomes our captain, and if you guys don't have the German kids, SANJI just basically fulfills that role. We want to make sure we turn into Gear 5 before we do that, so that way when we switch into SANJI and stay as SANJI, we don't have to worry about going out of being the captain form. We have a chain boost thanks to Frankie anyway, so we don't need to utilize the super type because of the super EX. We can use that on the revive. When the enemy dies here, he comes back, or sorry, they come back with 25% of their maximum HP, and they give you a random captain swap. However, because we have already captain swapped ourselves, we don't actually need to worry about that ability. Plus, we already have a super type thanks to, super class thanks to Luffy anyway. As you guys can see here, we have heaps of damage to say see you later to good old Jumanji. Once they revive, we just still have an attack boost. We get a chain boost thanks to the super type of Sanji, and now we're in a really, really good spot to actually use the rush, because Sanji's going to give himself a recovery orb, and then you can just easily kill there. So that was the quick variation. And now we're taking on Int. Now this is the one that Luffy really shines on, because Gear 5 actually has type advantage against this particular variation, which means that rush ability is going to go absolutely bananas. The Dex variation is probably the one fight where this team struggles on. However, for these last two fights, the versus Quick and Int, this team does very, very well. Like, very, very well. And like I said, if you replace Donjin Jiao with something like Garp, or if you replace maybe Donjin Jiao with like a powerhouse free spirit character that can also be strength, I really don't know if there is. That might help you out on that Dex variation. But this particular fight is going to have no issues whatsoever because of Luffy's rush ability. However, well, because Luffy's, a Psy unit. However, Luffy won't have access to his rush because you can't heal at all on the final stage of this particular fight. It's very annoying that they like do such a massive HP cut, and then like you have to sort of heal back and then you die. You can use the revive to make sure you get back to full HP. However, I just couldn't find a way to squeeze it into the team and make it work for this particular variation. I guess you could probably replace Frankie at this particular point if you wanted to with someone that can heal. But then you also need them to set defense to 0, so you'd have to find a way to sort of weasel that in too. But if you guys do, let me know in the comment section below. As you guys can see there, we use Donjin Jiao once again. He's going to remove the special bind and basically help us kill stage 2 very, very easily. On the final stage against Jumanji, wow, that took a while, apologies. On the final stage against Jumanji, we get a full board of poison slots, and the enemy has resilience. Reiju's poison is going to get around the resilience here, which is awesome. And then we have our despairs to remove the despair. But utilizing that Reiju poison is not only going to like get around the resilience, but it also gives us quite a nice heal. So that way we can actually tank the death shot. Sanji and Judge do 15k death damage that you can't avoid with damage reduction and stuff like that. On top of that, if you do any healing abilities, they do 200k damage. And if you use any end of turn damage, they wipe away your positive effects. So just be mindful of that as well. Also, if you do heal, the enemy will put up a 10 hit barrier. So the whole idea of that is they want you to heal and then die as Luffy, and then you can use the rush ability. But for us, we're just not even going to bother with that. Like, the rush ability is great and all, but look, we just don't need it. Like, this team does enough damage anyway to just not need it. If this was like a big damage team, we definitely would be doing that, and I have put out a couple of videos already with that. So you guys can go check them out if you guys want to actually access some bigger damage teams. But this is a regular KIZUNA. Most people won't be getting above level 30 to 35-ish. So you probably won't need that excessive amount of damage. And you'll just want to get it through it as quickly and with the most amount of fun as humanly possible. But that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there, bell like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.